Hello, am I audible, students? Can you confirm? Good evening, okay. Is the voice proper or is there some background noise or some kind of error? Good evening. Voice okay. And video is of course fine. So we'll get a new topic today. And before getting started, we'll just wait for a few minutes for everyone and let me set up everything. Voice getting cut just now. Is the voice getting cut for everyone? Persist, I'll just have earphones. Okay. Yeah. No, voice is good. Okay. Second. And just. Do you want to answer for this doubt? I'm not sure why it is coming. No voice. I was not speaking. Hello. Likit asked a doubt and you cannot unmute. So why is you're getting? Just give me 1 second. If you're getting surrounding noise, I'll. Yeah, I know. So in between, there might be some background noise. Just give me 1 minute. I'll just put on some earphones and that will solve the problem of noise very well. I'm looking at Likit's doubt right now. Likit has a doubt where his computer is not getting connected. And I would like to know why this doubt is coming. Can you tell me more about this doubt, Likit? Vivek is also having a problem. Vivek's doubt is, help me Looks like internet connection is slow. Yeah, you can just refresh. That should not be a problem. Okay. Yeah. Linkage doubt is something I'm more concerned. You're trying. No connection. Okay. Um, just give me 1 second. Did you change anything? Something happened. Same thing happened with me. Okay. Did you change something in this? Like, uh, okay. Can you show me the advanced option? Have you saved some advanced option also? Anything changed from the last time you connected? Like it? Okay. Maybe what you do is you can just can clear browser free Vivek and it work. You can browse it and probably it will work. Let me see what is the problem that Likit is having. Hmm. Seems to be okay to me. Connect e-connection refused. Yeah, your MongoDB is not running. Your background process, as rightly pointed out by Nikhil, Lanjan, your background process is not running. So let me see how to run the background process. Maybe you have to just run MongoD from that folder. Uh, yeah, just go to MongoD and click MongoD server. You have to run on the background. Maybe run that, or maybe what you can do is you can close out all the processes related to MongoD and that. Okay, did that work? Or did that work, Likit? Did going to bin and running MongoD work? Or maybe you can just close off. Yes, it worked, but what is the problem? Uh, Compass shows same error. Can you close Compass and open it again? After running the process, can you close the Compass and open it again? Just give me 1 second. Let me also check my Compass if this string is correct or not. Compass. अरे खनाई के तो कोनो नहीं कही MongoDB colon नहीं कोनो कहबा local host colon 2717 seems to be correct. Just give me 1 second. Let me Google this error. It's a standard error. Just give me 1 second. Okay, just can you check for this file? Maybe the file that is there is corrupt. There's a temporary file called as just let me share my screen. Let me reduce this. No. I'll show you like it. I'll show you how to do it. Maybe you can try this solution. What you can do is you can go to and try to find this file mongo d20 in the temp folder. Try to find this file 27017. Okay, and you can remove this file, delete this file, and then start again. I mean, this file is corrupt. No, don't do it. Wait a second. Don't delete that file.
टाउन में गाड़ी स्पीड नहीं चले कौन जा
No, likely
डिस्काउंट चुप चले हां तो आदमी बन के जन पार हो वैसे हम देख के कहला
I don't see a point in deleting.
नहीं आदमी मन पार हो गए
My guess is that MongoDB file is corrupt, but this is the best answer. Let me check other places. I think you have to delete that file, but let me check at other places. On Stack Overflow, what does people say? This is a common error. This happens. Sudo service MongoDB start. Yeah, MongoDB start. Localhost. Okay. This might actually work. Can you try instead of localhost? Can you try 0000? Like it. Let's see if that 0000 will work. Let me see what is the question that the other person is asking. Navneet, please help me with this doubt. What is the doubt? I'm not getting Navneet. MongoDB. That is MongoDB shell connecting to test network. Connect failed. Could not connect to server. Failed after milliseconds. Okay, your connection is getting failed. You just run this. Have you tried opening Mongo Bash? Mongo Campus. MongoDB Campus. No, not that way, Likit. Not that way. Try this one. Just let me tell you. Just try MongoDB ://0.0.0.0 :2 7. What is the number? What is the number? Let me open MongoDB. The number is 2717. 27017. 27017. Try this. Try this one. See if it is working. Connection refused on this. Try to find this file. Try to find this file. This seems to be
तो शादी
the
करके लाएंगे
file. Folder. Can you try this one? Mongo. Go to the folder, bin folder. Go to the bin folder, and inside the bin folder, write this command. mongo.exe space dash db path
दारू बनावा
and
बेच के पी
right.
आदमी मन के धाम कोनो कहबा हल हो नहीं सुनी इसके ऊपर साथे जो रह के बेकार है के
Oh yes. No. What is Navneet? Your command was in double quotes. Okay.
तो लाउड लेके वहां खाते रह
this one, inside this you can just do this one, c colon data colon. No, I'm not happy with this solution.
दो चार साल के तो हमर बाबू के बड़का होई त तो कोनो में जगन आबे अब निर्धन घर है खरीबन एक साल रात भेजू देखा तो आपने है तो तोहरे कौन में जगन कमावा कौन में जगन रहा एक एक थोड़ा प्लेट का एहो आदमी का जान भूले ते का रहो जो भूले ते करू एक साल में एक दो महीना का छुट्टी निकले के अपन भेंट घाट करके आ और निर्धन बाहर कमावा महीने देख
this should work.
मैं आहो नहीं देखू इकर से सपना नहीं भूले जावा छौवा का रास्ता
just look at this one.
बस जे भी कमावा से छौवा ले रखा बैंक
go to search, click services, right here services, click on services. There's app will open up. Okay, in this there should be MongoDB. There should be MongoDB server. For me it is running. Can you check if it is working? It is running. Likit, is the MongoDB server running? Likit? Hello? Nilanjan, what did Nilanjan say? What did Nilanjan say? I think this is what you have to do. Yeah, exactly the same thing. Okay, this is the thing. Thank you, Nilanjan. Okay, I just okay. Now I'll open up the second doubt, which was this guy. He is writing the solution in quotes. Without quotes, what you need to do is what is his name? Navneet, what you have to do is instead of writing C program files, MongoDB server 3 bin, what you need to do is open command prompt in that folder. Let me show you how you can open. In my service folder, MongoDB is not present. In my service folder, MongoDB is not present. So Navneet, what you have to do is do like this. Let me show it to you. Just open this. Okay. Just click on the folder. Once you click on the folder, go to program files. Go to C folder. Go to program files. In program files, go to MongoDB. Inside MongoDB, open server 6.0 bin. Inside bin, there is mongo.exe. Just click on this file. That's all you need to do. Okay? Can you do this? Navneet, in my service folder, MongoDB is not present. Now is it working? Now can you check MongoDB compass? Navneet? It's not working. What is the error you are getting on MongoDB compass? Can you paste the screenshot of that. What is the error you are getting on MongoDB Compass? And MongoDB can't run from MongoDB software for command line. We have to install Mongo.
नहीं इन्हें स्कूल स्कूल डालबार में थोड़े लेके देते था
I think you are right. We have to install Mongo shell. That is, it's only once and it's opening. I think that is right, Lanjan. You need a Mongo shell application. But I think if you, why is Compass running on my computer then? If I'm running Compass, yes, Vivek, I'm going to open your doubt in few minutes, Vivek. Vivek, you also had a doubt, so I'm going to open that in few minutes. I hope your computer is working fine now, Vivek. Okay, so I'm just clearing out doubt of everyone. Doubt solved. Okay. Navneet, what is it coming? View doubt, read out. What is the doubt which is coming? Now it is working fine. Using Mongoose? Yeah, it is working fine. I think it is working fine. Yes, I think it is working fine. And what is it? Let me stop sharing my screen. And pin and MongoDB. I think this is third version, so you already have shell installed. Yeah. Diagram. Yeah. So since he has a version 3 of MongoDB server, he already has shell, so he can run directly. Okay, Navneet, what is the error you are getting? I think you are not getting any error. You are getting your code is running. Let me go back. This is the error. You are getting it proper. Hello, Navneet, are you okay? Can you reply? Is everything working fine? Are you facing some error? What is going on? Do you want to unmute yourself? Yes, I can connect after class. You have my mobile number, no? You can just connect with me on mobile and I'll help you out. Okay. Anyone else has any other doubt that they want me to clear? You don't have. It's this 8185970934. Just connect me on WhatsApp and I'll try to help you out. 8185970934. Okay. Anytime you have any doubt or any difficulty, you can just connect with me and I'll help you out. Sir, can we also connect to WhatsApp if having error? Yes, you can connect. That's completely fine, Nilanjan. You can just connect to me on WhatsApp. I typically like people connecting me on WhatsApp first. But if you have an urgent doubt or something, you can also call. That's also fine. Not a big deal. Okay. So this is done. This is done. This is done. Okay. You are most welcome, Dipanshu. Okay. So today we are going to talk about. Let me go back to the slide. First slide of the day. Today we are going to talk about data modeling in MongoDB. How do you model data while creating MongoDB database? With great flexibility comes great responsibility. This is the concept of NoSQL databases. When you have NoSQL databases, you have lots of flexibility. But then with that lots of flexibility, you need a lot of responsibility. So what is the responsibility that you have? Before starting out on NoSQL databases, you should know what is the use case, what is the requirement. If you don't know the requirement, your model might get your software might get very bad time complexity. Because if you do join, if so, ideally you don't need a join in MongoDB. But if you try to do a join on MongoDB, it's very expensive. No audio. Hello, is this only Vishal or everyone is not getting the audio? Is the audio coming? Okay. Okay. Sure. So what I'm saying is, uh, if you don't know the requirement upfront and you try to create a system which is not suitable for the use cases that you're looking for, then the problem might occur that uh, the time complexity might run. Because if you want to do joins in case of NoSQL databases, they are very expensive. You cannot do joins. You typically don't do joins. Okay. Join is the key thing that you want to avoid. So you need to know the requirements before designing the data structure. There are two types of ways in which relationships can be modeled. There are two types of ways in which relationship between data can be modeled. One is called as data, embedded data, and the other is called as reference data, references. What does this means? So there are two ways of designing a user document. Okay. First is this user. You can have an ID. Let's say the ID is an object ID. Some object ID is there. And you have a username. Let's say the username is 123XYZ. And you have contact. In the contact, you have two things. One is phone, which is 1234566. Let's say 1234566. And you have email. Email is xyz@gmail.com. Suppose this is what you have saved as the contact. And then there is access. What is the access you are allowing for this user in your system? Some system, I'm just giving you an example. Access level 5, group is dev. Some developer is there who gets access number 5. Okay. And then you just close off everything. This is one way of creating a user document. There is also one more way, which is have a user document which looks like this. ID should be ID. Let's say the ID is some object ID. And username. Username is 123XYZ. So here I have embedded the document details of this user inside a single document. Here I have just written the ID and the username. Now what I do is I define a contact document which will contain a ID. This is also object ID and user ID. I'll write the user ID here. This ID, which is this ID, reference like SID in Google and Facebook. Yes, exactly. Reference is like like SIG. What is SIG in Google or Facebook? What is SIG, Suraj? Let's call this ID as let's call this ID as object 123, object ID 123, object ID 123. Sign in. Okay, 123. And yes, I'm talking about reference. There are two ways of storing data. One is embedding data, and the other is referencing it. In reference, you can have an object ID which is same across two different collections. This is one collection of user documents in which there is a document for this user, and there is a collection for contact in which there is a document for this user which contains the phone. And what is the difference between both? Yes, I'm going to discuss that. You didn't get the difference. Okay. You get the difference that you are saving these across two different collections. Vivek, do you see that? No, you're not getting it. Okay, I'll try to help you. Suppose there are two ways of storing data about a user. One is to have a user collection. Okay, I can have a user collection which contains all the data for individual users. Okay, that is one option. Other option is I can have a user collection, a contact collection, and an access collection. I have three different collections in my data. You know what collections are? You know what collections are? Yes. So you have user collection, contact collection, and access collection. And now what you do is in access collection you again write ID as some object ID. I don't care about this. And then there is a user ID. This user ID is same as this user ID. Okay. So now there are three documents for a single user. Now does that make sense? Does that make sense, Vivek? Three documents for a single user. Anytime you want all the contacts of all the users, you just have to go to collection of users, contact collection of contacts. When you want all the access patterns of all the users, you can directly go to access group. Okay. But if you want to find all the details about a particular user, about a single user, you want to find what is the username, what is the contact detail, and what is the access pattern of that user. If you are looking for user profile, then you have to do join of this collection with this collection with this collection. Yeah, embedded data is doing the same thing. So you have two options, but you can choose between these two options, either this or either that, either one or two. You cannot do both. You will not do both of them. Okay. So what is the pros and cons of these two options? Which is better? This is a typical question that will come to your mind when you are doing this. Which is better? It depends on your access pattern. If most of the times you are looking for only the aggregate data, you want to find out all the contacts. If you want to find out all the access patterns, if you want to find all the access documents, then reference is required. It's a common concept across multiple NoSQL databases. Okay, Ankit, this is common. Which is better to do future reference is better to do future analysis, but when you want to access users on general basis, yeah, I'll give you the scenarios for both of them. So suppose let me give you some examples of this, and I'm going to write it in the notes part of. I'll write some notes in the VS Code as well. So embedded and references. Embedded is when I'm interested in user profiles. when I want to get the user profiles on repeated basis, maybe there is a page which wants the user profile all the time. Okay, if you keep on wanting user profiles, that embedded is good. If you are looking for some kind of analytics on contacts and access, then reference is better. Those are the two broader categories of use cases. Okay, embedded will take more space. It will take more space because embedded will take more space because what will happen is um, there can be cases where the same thing is copied again and again. You can do one thing. You can have bunch of user ID saved along with a given access level. So what you can do is for all these user ID, this is the access pattern. So you can save data. You can save space in this case in references because everything is saved only once. So this saves the space. Okay. Now embedded requires no join. Does not require join. Doesn't require joins. This one requires join. Requires join to get the user profile. Okay. These are the changes. Those are the differences between the embedded and references. Okay. This has no repetition. And this has repetitions. Okay. Now does this make sense? Hello, Vivek? Repetition means the data is repeated. So have you seen this? Have you seen this in how do I put it? How it's repeating? How it is repeating? So suppose two people have the same access pattern, exact same access pattern as there for user 1 and user 2. Both of them have same access pattern. In this case, both of them will have the copy of this access pattern in uh, documents. But what I can do is in this access collection, what I can do is I can do user IDs as an array. I can have user 1 and user 2 as comma separated numbers. Then there is only one access pattern that is needed for both the users. Does that make sense, Vivek? You can save all the dev access pattern in one place, and you can save all the other access patterns at one place, like that. Okay. So therefore, there's no repetition in reference. There's repetition in embedded data. Those are the two general types. Those are the key types in which you can save data and work around with it. And this will keep on coming to you. Like, there's one more thing that you have to remember. This has individual documents. Docs are larger. What will happen is the document for user will become very large because if there were more details about the user, the document for user can become very large. This contains very small documents. This contains, so in MongoDB there is a limit that one document cannot be greater than 16 MB. Okay, now if your documents are only like embedded documents only, if you are only using embedded document, then it might be the case that your data can overrun 16 MB limit. So those are a couple of differences between references and embedded. Okay. Hmm. There's one more thing that you need to work understand about. Uh, uh, how do I put it? Okay. There's one more distinction that I want you to make, which is the distinction of atomicity. You know what is atomicity? Atomic, atomization, atom, atomic operations. Remember the acid operations? Acid. In acid, there was a word A, which was atomic, which means that if uh, you don't remember atomic, so if I change a document, if I update a document, only that document should be logged and only changes on that document should happen in atomic way. Before the update for a given document completes, you cannot update any other document. This is called as atomicity. It is like every update is an atom. Yeah, every update is an atom and you cannot further divide the update. So if an update goes into the document, that document cannot have another update during that time. Okay, other documents can have updates, but that particular document cannot have update. Does that make sense? Two people simultaneously cannot change a single document in MongoDB. I'll explain. Suppose you have 5 documents. This is document 1, this is document 2, this is document 3, this is document 4, and this is document 5. And there are 3 people who wants to update these documents at different times. Shouldn't it affect other, right? It should not affect others. That's okay. One document update will not affect others. So this guy decides to update D1. While this guy is updating D1, second person can come and update D3. Okay. When the third person comes, suppose D1 and D3 are currently being updated in parallel. Then when the third person comes, he only have access to D2, D4 and D5. He can update D1, D2, D4 and D5. He cannot update D1 and D3. Once the lock from D1 is lifted, then this guy can come and later on update this D1. This is called as atomization of updates. Does that make sense? This is mostly with the writes. When you have writes or updates, you typically want atomization. You don't want to update the same documents. 2 people should not come and update the same document simultaneously. Vivek, that does not make sense? Uh, okay, do you want to unmute yourself and try to understand it better? That will be easier. Could you please unmute yourself, Vivek? Okay, Vivek is here. Let me invite him. Hello, Vivek. Are you speaking? Hello? Hello. Vivek, can you speak again? Sorry, I was not able to hear you. Can you speak one more time? Sorry. Let me see what is my microphone. Hmm. Let's try one more time. He's not audible. Okay. Let me try one more time. Vivek, can you try one more time? Okay, so let me state some basic facts first. Processes on a server can run in parallel. Do you understand what this means? What this line means, Vivek? Processes on a server can run in parallel. For example, your computer is running right now maybe 20, 30 programs simultaneously. Okay, it is not just like a single program that is running on your computer. A computer is very good at multitasking. Does that make sense, Vivek? Does that make sense? multi-thread multi-thread and multi-process is also there. Multi-process there, every process can have multiple threads, but all I'm saying is everything can run in parallel on a computer don't usually have a single thread that keeps on running. There are multiple processes, multiple things that are happening together. He's facing issue with Preler or Thompson. Okay, no worries, Ravindra. Let's hope he joins well. Hyperthreading, not hyperthreading. Hyperthreading is I'm not sure what hyperthreading is, but multi-processes, when you have multiple processes, like there's a Chrome browser, there is a MongoDB Compass. All of these are processes, but then each process can have multiple threads. For example, one thread is for this video, one thread is for the whiteboard, one thread is for something else. So there are multiple threads also. So that's but the key point here is a computer is capable of running multiple processes, multiple instructions together. Think of them, yeah, think of them as multiple programs that are running on top of your computer together. Okay. Suppose these three programs are running on your computer together. Now, each of these three programs have access to the DynamoDB database. All of them can have access to the DynamoDB database. And then three instructions of each program might be running together on the computer. Like one, you do you have Core i3? What is MongoDB? Whenever I say DynamoDB, I'm saying MongoDB because there is another database by Amazon AWS which is DynamoDB, and I keep on mixing the name between MongoDB and DynamoDB. Most of the concepts you are learning about MongoDB are applicable for DynamoDB as well. Anyways, so just like you have multiple processors on your computer, if you have Core i3 or i7 processor, they have 7 or 8 processors running together on your computer. So it happens that multiple instructions, one instruction is this and then this. All three instructions are running together on your computer. They are not happening at different times. This instruction will not wait for this instruction to end before running. Okay? So everything is going parallel. But if three things are happening parallel, then the problem is all three of them can simultaneously write something in my document. Suppose my document contains amount, okay? Amount in your bank account. Initially the amount is 100. This process is saying I'll add 10 to the amount. This process is saying I'm adding 20, and this process is saying I am adding 30. So what will happen? While this process is writing, this process comes and rewrites the data. So amount becomes 120. And this process has not yet terminated, and it terminates before. So so what happens is the document, while this process terminates, this processor already returned 20. So now the amount becomes 120, but this process has copied, it has read 100. So this is A, B, and C. A read 100, and decided to add 10 to it. So it should become 110. But before that, it could have done that. B read 120, B read 100, B read 100 and decided to add 120. So right now, and then it writes 120 into the amount. So 120 is written. But A don't remember that it has to read again. It has read 100 and it adds 10. So it comes and write 110 into this. Okay. So right now the amount becomes 110 instead of 130. And then 30 comes up and it decides to add 30 to it and it becomes 140. You see what has happened? Hello? You see what has happened? Hello, Vivek? Are you able to follow? Vivek, were you disconnected during this time? I was trying to help you out. Okay, can you unmute yourself once? Let me try to explain. Let me try to explain why you need atomicity. Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir. Hi.
Hi, Vivek. Yeah,
Actually, I am facing an issue with the platform. I don't know what. Everything is fine on my side.
Okay, no worries. Sometimes the platform acts differently. No worries. So imagine, so you understand that is what kind of computer do you have, Vivek? Do you have i3, i7? What is that?
i5.
i5. What do you know what i5 means?
It's a generation of processor.
It has 5 cores. I mean, it has especially 6 cores. Basically, 6 processors which are running together. Okay.
Okay.
You can think of that as 6 different programs are running together on your computer. They are sharing the same RAM, they are sharing the same cache, but they are running together.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and they are also sharing MongoDB, sir, MongoDB database. Whatever DB you have, they are also sharing that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now imagine there are 3 programs: A, B, and C. Okay. And there is a document on which all 3 wants to write something. This document have a single field which is the amount, and that amount is 100. For simplicity, let me write it like this. Okay.
Yes, sir.
This A is going to add 10 to it, B is going to add 20 to it, and C is going to add 30 to it. Okay. If all 3 of them goes through, what should be the final amount that you should get?
60. Yeah.
160. Because
160.
you will add 10 and 20 and 30 to 100. So 160 should be the final amount.
Yeah.
But you know how things are written on computer? First you read it, then you update it, and then you write it. There are 3 steps: read, update, and write. Okay. Read, update, and write. Read, update, and write. Okay. Now the 3 processes are running together. The instruction will be a single instruction which says amount plus 100. There will be a single instruction which says amount plus 20, and there will be a single instruction which says amount plus 30. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now what will happen? This will first read the amount. It will read 100. Okay. While it is reading and updating the amount, B also reads the amount, because both of them have access to the document. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now A updates the amount to 110. Okay. And B updates the amount to 120. Both of them did this in parallel. Okay. So right now amount is still 100 because none of them have written anything. Then A goes and writes 110 in the amount. So amount becomes 110. Okay. And now B goes and it writes 120 because it has read the older value of amount which was 100. So now my amount becomes 120. And now C comes, it reads 120, it updates 120 to 150, and it writes as 150. So now my amount becomes 150. Okay? Okay, Vivek, do you see what where the things went wrong?
Yes, sir.
When you have operations that are happening simultaneously, you can have problems with the data if you are not locking up the data. Okay?
Okay, sir.
So now this is where atomicity comes into picture. Atomicity says while A is reading and updating the document, nobody else can touch this document, neither B nor C. Both of them cannot touch the document while A is writing on the document. So A will first read 100, write 110, and then free up the document. Then once the document is free, B will go and write 120. It will read 110, update it to 130, and then write it as 130. Once it has written 130 as amount, C can open up the document and maybe read 130, update it to 160, and write 160. Okay?
Sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, when C is running, then B is also accessing value.
No, while B, once B has returned, it is like this document will have only one user at a time. Once you have said that I am going to read and write on this document, after you have completed your read and write, then only you can give your document to the next person, then to the next person. One person will have access to the document only one time, one at a time.
Yes, sir.
You remember there was Hindi movies where there will be Mithun Chakravarti, and he will be fighting with bunch of villains or bunch of gundas, and he will say, "Come one by one, don't come all together." Okay,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got
that is exactly what is happening with this document. Each of the processes is accessing that document one at a time. This is called
Yes,
as
sir.
atomicity. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir.
In DynamoDB, we have a document level of atomicity. That means one document will be accessed by one process at a time. Two processes cannot write into a same document together. Okay, that is what atomicity is about. Okay, Vivek?
Yes, sir.
Sure. Now you can mute yourself. I will go back to the chat.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sure. Suraj, just fine. Video. Sir, understood what Abraham, but please link with how it is connected with reference model.
Oh,
Like
sir.
one, yeah.
Sir, please unmute me because I'm clicking.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll end that one. Sure. Yeah. Like one core for one task at a time. None other core will work on it. Yes. Now got it clearly. Joseph got it. Ankit, did you get it? Ankit, did you get Ankit Kumar? Okay. And understood what atomicity, but please link with how it is connected with reference model. With reference model, yes. You have not fully understood. Suraj, do you want to unmute yourself? You can ask your question. Then I'll come back to Abhab's doubt. Oh, I'll come back to you. Yes, Suraj. Yes, Suraj.
हेलो
Yes, Suraj.
सर एक्चुअली मैं डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया था, मेरा नेटवर्क स्लो था, तो मैं आपको समराइज कर
Okay. So the problem that is occurring is, you understand these are the three processes which are running on the same.
सर ए बी अंडरस्टैंड सर.
You understood why 150 was coming?
नो सर 120 अंडरस्टैंड सर.
So basically what is happening is A and B are running together. A process and B process are running together and they're accessing the same document. First they will read the document, they will update it, and then they will write. So first A reads 100, updates it to 120, 110, and then writes it. So but before A and B comes up and reads 100. So it has not read the updated value which is 110, it has read 100. It updates it to 120, and now A writes 110 on the document, but B overwrites it to 120. Okay. And then C comes up, it reads 120, updates it to 150, and then writes 150. So the final value becomes 150. Is the 150 figure clear, Suraj? A and B
Yes,
are
sir.
running in parallel, they are happening together.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now, the solution to this process is to log the document. While A is reading the document, while A is writing to the document, B and C cannot access it. Okay, it is closed for B and C. B and C will have to wait. Okay. So
Okay, sir.
first A will read 100, then update it to 110. Once A has updated the value to 110, B will read the document and update it to 130. And once B has read the document, C will update it to 160. Okay?
Okay, sir. Okay.
One person at a time will access the document. I have given an example of Mithun Chakravarti. He is fighting with bunch of gundas, and he says to the gundas, come one by one. Don't come all together.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sure. Okay, Suraj. Then parallel processing won't happen. Yes, Hariyanan. Parallel processing won't happen in that particular document. Other things will work. Okay, so other documents it will work. So suppose there are 3 documents or 5 documents that are there in MongoDB, then other and there are 3 processes. Let me write them as persons. I'm writing processes as people because I prefer that way. Then if this process is calling this document, then these 2 processes are free to call these 2 documents. They can access these 2 documents, these 4 documents. But unless this is completed, this document is locked for that much time. So these 2 processes will have to wait. This is what is called as atomicity. Okay. Parallel things will happen, but it will not happen completely. It will not be completely single threaded. It will be still some parallelism will be there, but it will not be 100%. Okay, there will be a gradient in there. Okay, sir, understood what atomicity is, but please link with how it is connected with reference model. Sorry, I was thinking about atomicity is some concept of reference model, but what it is individual. Yes, it is, but similar to that. Now, in reference, you remember in reference there were 3 documents for a single user. There was a user document, there was a contact document, and there is access document. And suppose there comes a person who wants to update user, contact, and access all together. Then what you need to do is you need to lock all 3 of them by a single process. You need a single process that can lock all 3 documents. Okay? A user comes to your platform and decides to update his contact details, his access pattern, his name, his username, all 3 of these things. Then what you will need is a way to lock all 3 of them together. And once the processor updated all 3 of them, then only you can open all 3 of them. But in case of embedded, you only need to lock a single document. If you lock the key document, which is the user document, then you are good to go. If you lock one document, which is by default locked, you can update all the fields. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's the difference between embedded and reference in case of. Reference is more expensive in this case. Yes. If you want to lock it, it's more expensive. But can somebody tell me, can you do this process or not? Can you lock all 3 of them together or not? Is this possible? In MongoDB. Can you lock all 3 of them together? In reference, we need to lock all necessary documents. But does MongoDB provide a way to do that? My question is, does MongoDB provide a way to lock all 3 documents? Yeah, there is a way. It's called as transactions. There's something called as transactions. Vivek, yes? You again got disconnected. Vivek, you will have to work on your computer, internet or something. I'm not sure how I will be able to support multiple times when you leave the class. Maybe you can watch the video lecture, and if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Yeah, because if you get disconnected again and again, that the whole flow of the class will be broken. No worries. There is something called as transactions in MongoDB, and the idea behind transactions is that you can lock multiple documents together. Okay, no, it's okay. Okay, okay, now it's okay. Then good. If you have any doubt, you can ask. But if your internet is getting connected, then we can discuss. Okay. Sure. So transaction, but you should really use transaction. Again, you can see that you're locking three different documents from three different collections. It's not a good idea to do it. So I still say that don't use transactions often. But there might be cases where you anyway have to use transaction. They're costly and they're bad. So don't use that. Okay. Now let's talk about uh, schema. So we have discussed how if you want to save the same data, what is transaction? Yeah, don't worry about it. Maybe there is some. Maybe you can clear up the cache and you can clear up browsing history and you can open it from a different browser, or maybe you can open it as incognito window. All those things can work out well, Vivek. Sometimes, or maybe if you are running maybe you are running a, what is it called, antivirus. If you are running an antivirus on your computer, Vivek, that might be causing a problem. See if there is something. We have done that. We have done that. We have done that, Nilanjan. In the previous class, we have not done CRUD on MongoDB. Shall we do it today? We have done that, Nilanjan. We have done the CRUD operations on MongoDB. Everyone has. Uh, yes, we did that. Nilanjan, you were not there on Wednesday. I was there. We did update, read, delete, find. All of them we did. I've written it on the chat also. Those are called as CRUD operations. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I cannot cover all the documents, all the options I cannot cover because there are just infinitely many of them. But I gave you a good idea about how these functions work. That was my intention. It's not an intention to cover each and every operator. Yeah. Anyways, but you can work out all the operators from that discussion. If you have any doubts, you can of course come to me. Yeah. Okay. Uh, Schema. Yeah, transactions means locking. That is true. I think Karan Kora is asking this question. Transaction means locking. Yes, transaction means locking across multiple operations and multiple documents. You can lock all of them. Can we share all command line link? Can you share all command line link? Yeah, I have written it in the. I've written all the commands in the GitHub repo. You can take it from there, Vivek. All the commands I discussed are written in a MD file there. Yeah, sure. Uh, let's take a break now. Yeah, there is a cheat sheet. Of course, there's always a cheat sheet you can share, and you can just go to. You can always go to our best friend ChatGPT. It will help you out. Okay, let's take a short break for dinner, and then we'll again meet at 9:30. 9:30, and then I'll talk about schema. Okay, I'll mute myself. How document will be logged? That is the implementation detail of MongoDB. I don't know how it logs it, but it does not allow the processors to open the document. Okay. That is true. Okay. See you at 9:30. Bye.
बाबा पढ़े रे तना स्पीड पढ़िस बना